There is something that always intrigued me in the middle of technological achievements, where the human being stepped on the moon, developed artificial intelligences, and turned dreams into a touch on the screen. Yet we came across a deep paradox. As we dominate the external world, we lose control over our inner world. Just watch the people around or even look in the mirror to realize that, even surrounded by achievements, many live in a state of chronic exhaustion. Ask an acquaintance, are you happy? Do you have energy to face life? The answer is almost always accompanied by a sigh, a gesture of resignation, or a simple I'm tired. But this tiredness is not common, the one who disappears after a night's sleep or a weekend of rest. It is a fatigue that persists, that does not go with vacation or months of rest. It is not the body that is exhausted, it is the soul. I went through this myself. In youth, full of ambition and plans, built a promising career, followed all the protocols of success, hard work, recognition, stability. But at the end of each day, a feeling of emptiness accompanied me. I woke up in the morning with less strength than the day before, not understanding why. I was not sick, no hungry, there was a ceiling and food on the table. However, it was as if an inner light had elapsed. I started looking for answers. I read psychology books, talked to experts, experienced different forms of leisure. Some things even worked for a day, a week, but darkness always came back. It was then that an ancient idea, present in the Jewish tradition, resonated in me. The lack of purpose empties the human being. No matter how light the tasks are, without a why, even the simplest activities become a weight. But when we find meaning, even the most arduous challenges become a source of vitality. See the example of a mother with a newborn baby. She spends nights in chores, wakes up several times to breastfeed, faces intense physical wear, and yet finds the strength to follow. Where does this energy come from? It is not from the body, which should collapse from so much tiredness. It is from the soul that feeds on purpose, taking care of that little being that depends on it. Now compare with someone who works in a job that hates. Even with a high salary, regulated benefits, and times, at the end of the day you feel exhausted. Sleeping 8 hours, eating well, or working out do not solve. The problem is not physical, is that this work has no meaning for him. It's like filling a bullshit. As much as you put water, everything drips. This exhaustion is not an enemy, it is a sign. Like the warning light on a car panel, it indicates that something is not right. It's not time to give up, but to stop and understand what is happening inside. If you wake up in the morning and the first thought is when this day will end, it is because your energy is being drained to the emptiness. The good news is that there are millennial, tested, and proven principles that can help recover this inner force. They are not based on magic or empty motivational speeches, but a practical wisdom that has transformed the lives of many people, including mine. If you feel that your days are the same, is lacking meaning to what you do, or is just surviving, it is because your soul is asking for attention. Before you follow. However, take a break and respond honestly. When you open your eyes in the morning, do you meet for the day that starts, or just expect him to spin fast? If the second option sounds familiar, it's time to understand why your energy is fading and how to reverse it. True strength does not just come from rest or distractions. It is born of purpose. When we find it, even the most difficult days get color. Without it, even the simplest tasks seem insurmountable mountains. Let's understand, then, why we lose energy and how to recover it. For Jewish tradition, the human being is not just a body that needs food and sleep. We are like a flame that depends on fuel to ardor. This fuel is not material, it is made of meaning, true connections, and a reason to exist. When it is missing, the flame goes out. Where, then, our energy is lost first. She escapes when we invest time in something that doesn't resonate with us. I've spent years in a well-paid job with stability and prestige, but that sucked me every day. Why? Because it wasn't mine. I devoted hours to someone else's purpose, like a servant who works only to enrich the owner. That more I struggled, the more empty I felt. Betraying one's essence is like opening a tap. Energy goes away without a trail. Second, she dissipates in ephemeral pleasures. We live in a time when distractions are endless. Social networks, series, games, shopping. They promise relief, but they leave a bitter taste. After hours consuming content, the sensation is not renewal, but of even greater void. It's like trying to kill hunger with air. It seems to have eaten, but the belly keeps snoring. The soul does not feed on entertainment. It needs substance. Third, it is consumed by useless concerns. Have you noticed how it is possible to spend a whole day lying on the couch and ending more exhausted than after a workday? This is because the mind does not stop. What if it goes wrong? What are you going to think about me? These thoughts are like ghosts that sucked our strength even before we act. As one wise said, those who carry tomorrow's concerns today double their burden without need. How? Then, recover this energy. The first step is to find a genuine purpose, not that taxed by society succeed, being productive, but one that is aligned with who you really are. A true purpose is always connected to something greater, a family, a community, a job that makes a difference. I met a man who, at 60, lived just waiting for retirement. A year after retiring, he passed away, not of illness, but lack of reason to live. His body was standing, but his soul had already given up. Another gentleman, over 70, opened a social project to teach chess to needy children. His face shone, his energy was contagious. The difference? He felt necessary. The second step is to do something that enlightens not only to you, but to others. The energy flows when we donate. It doesn't have to be something grand, just be authentic. A word of encouragement, a gesture of kindness, a job that helps someone. These are the true sources of fuel to the soul. If you have felt that your days are gray, which is lacking strength to follow, or just fulfilling tables, know that this is not normal. Your tiredness is a message, and the solution is not more hours of sleep or temporary escapes, but in reconnecting with what really matters. Perhaps, in doing so, you not only recover your energies, but also discover a life that is worth living. When we live only for ourselves, energy fades like water between the fingers. But just share a smile, a word of support, or a gesture of help to feel suddenly that something within us is renewed. It is paradoxical, but so the soul works. The more we give, the more we receive. I remember an especially difficult day of those where the weight of the world seemed to rest on the shoulders. I came home exhausted, with one desire, lie down and forget everything. That's when a neighbor asked for help to carry some boxes. I was reluctant at first, but accepted. And do you know what happened? As we talked and I helped him, I felt something inside myself ease. That invisible burden it carried seems to have been lighter. A small act, but it filled me unexpectedly. No wonder millennial traditions, such as Jew, give so much importance to the acts of disinterested kindness. They not only transform the lives of the receiving, but heal who practices them. Generosity is a balm for the tired soul. There is still a third crucial point: silence the inner noise. Often, it is not the excessive actions that exhaust us, but the excessive thoughts. The soul gets tired of so much mental noise, of voices that repeat worries, fears, or dissatisfaction. How to recover balance? There are simple but deep paths. Through prayer or meditation. Even a few minutes in the morning or evening, in silence or with sincere words, they create the feeling that we are not alone. It is like anchoring life in something larger than ourselves through gratitude. Try, at the end of the day, list 3 things for which it is grateful, however small. This exercise changes the focus of what is missing for what exists, and this change of perspective brings lightness through conscious silence. Turn the phone off for an hour, walk without hurry, watch the sky, or simply allow yourself to do nothing. It sounds basic, but it is in this nothing that the soul often finds answers. We seek energy in coffee, supplements, or vacation capsules, but the true source is not in the body, but in the soul. When it fills with meaning, kindness, and stillness, the body follows in. Life gains colors we didn't see before. If you have been running out, do not look for a magic pill. Ask 3 honest questions. 1. Am I living according to what my soul truly desires? 2. Do I do something that brings benefit to others, even if small? 3. I reserve time for silence and gratitude. If answers may be the map to recover not only forces, but also the joy of existing. This wisdom is not new. It was proven by generations who understood. Fatigue is not a flaw, but a sign. Imagine that in your home a red light flashes in the energy frame. You don't curse electricity, right? Understands that it is a warning. There is a leak. Something needs to be adjusted. Similarly, the soul sends us signs. If you are without strength, ask yourself, where is my leak? What part of life am I spending energy on what does not belong to me? Here is the first great truth. Fatigue is a messenger, not an enemy. It comes to remind us that it's time to rethink directions. The second truth is the same as powerful. The forces come back when we find meaning. You can travel to the most beautiful beach in the world, relax the body, but if the soul is empty, upon returning, the feeling of exhaustion will persist. I've been through this. Only when I found a purpose that warms my essence, when I started sharing, serving, connecting with something bigger, is that energy returned. Lastly, and the third truth, often ignored, does not fear silence. We fear so much to be alone with us that we filled every second with noise, notifications, empty conversations, series, loud music. But it is precisely in silence that the soul speaks. Sometimes just a walk without headphones to whisper, hey, I'm still here. I have desires. I have a voice. You just need to listen to me. Allow me to share a simple story, but it carries all the essence of what we say today. A man sought a rabbi and vented, I'm exhausted. I have no strength anymore. Life is an unbearable weight. Rabbi smiled and replied, imagine that you carry a suitcase of others, full of things that are not yours. Of course it will be difficult, but if the suitcase contains your own treasures, you will take her lightly. Maybe, my friend, you are carrying a suitcase that is not yours. How many times do we do the same? We assume expectations of others, impose goals, dreams borrowed, and we surprised ourselves with tiredness. But when we finally take our suitcase, the one that contains our values, our passions, our purpose, the path gets softer. Now, I leave with you some practical steps. Write them down if you want. They can be the beginning of a transformation. 1. Find a small sense every day. When you wake up, ask, what will I do today that will really fill me? It can be simple, listening to a child, call a friend, help a stranger. These small meanings build a great life. 2. Do not run away from fatigue. Listen to it. When the feeling of emptiness appears, it does not drown with distractions. Stop, breathe, and ask, what is my soul trying to tell me? The answer may surprise you. 3. Share. Do not keep the kindness just for you. A smile, a gentle word, a gesture. When we give, we stop being closed containers. The energy comes to circulate, and that is what fills us. 4. Practice the gratitude. Every night, identify 3 things you are grateful, even if they are deep breath. Today I saw the sun, or I have a place to sleep. This will re-educate your look at what's, not what you missed. 5. Remember, meaning is more important than success. You can reach the top of your career and still feel empty, or it can lead a simple but full life. What feeds the soul is not trophies, but the certainty that its existence makes a difference. Why do I share all this? Because I've been where you may be now. I know the weight of wake up unwillingly, the feeling that the days repeat themselves like an endless tape. But I also know that it is possible to get out of this place. The strength can come back. Joy can be reborn. There is an old teaching that says each person has a mission in this world. No one has come here by chance. And while you live, your mission is not complete. It means there are still strength within you, waiting to be awakened. Keep the sentence, tiredness is not the end, it is the beginning of a new path. If life is heavy, it is a sign that something needs to change, and this change can be the most important turn in its history. Finally, I ask that if these words resonated on you, leave a signal. It's not just to enjoy or comment, it's a way of saying, it made sense to me. I want more of this light. After all, when we share what touches us, we strengthen not only ourselves, but also to those around us. Take care of yourself. Remember, the meaning is the fuel of the soul, and when she burns, no fatigue can erase her shine. Until next time, and may your journey be as full of purpose as your soul deserves.